Oh, come on, really? Oh, I was just bragging the other day, a few days ago, that I hadn't been popped by a DD in a while. All right, guys, let's continue our juice train action south. You know, yesterday's live stream, we started out running the juice train, the K651. So this is an empty counterpart of it going south. We started up in Yemisi, and we took it down through the new Savannah DLC, and now we are currently sitting at Jessup, Georgia, where we left off here in front of the Amtrak station. So quick overview of our train. This is a K651. It is the southbound juice train. This is circa, I pretty much nailed it down to about early spring of 2003. Like, Spur is that specific, right? Early spring 2003. There are a lot of changes on the railroad. You guys know that. Anyone that keeps up with the railroad knows things changes like the wind, right? And one of the things that they did in the early 2000s was that they put some of the Philadelphia intermodal traffic on the K651 to kind of fill it out a little bit. And these cars went to Tampa as well, too. So this is a Tampa cut out of Philly that went with it. It's not part of the actual juice train. I think during this time, they may have abolished the Q175 and just put that traffic on the K651. They did a lot back then with this train. Like, it changed a great deal. So that's why we have the containers on the front, right? This is based off an actual video. I watched this train going through Folkestone, and I think it was 2004, so pretty much the same. But we got our Philadelphia cut on to head in here. Single level once again because of the tunnel restriction up there. And then we've got the meat and potatoes right here, the juice cars, right? This is what it's all about, the Tropicana juice cars. I think like 35 of them. I think during that time period, it ran just about daily. I don't know if it did 7 days a week or 6 days or 5, but it ran at least 5 or 6 days, right? And it was about 30 to 40 cars a pop. There's times when they ran this train and it was only 3 days a week and it was 60 cars a pop. So like I said, it changes with the wind, but this is our train for today. 35 cars and a little bit of a Philadelphia cut on the head end. So let's go ahead and we'll hop in the train and we'll get this thing rolling. What do we need to do to get set up here? Got 2 -9s on the head end. Showing a little looks like a little air under her, but it's fine. We got full independent. Let's release the parking brake, and we need to talk to Otto real fast. Let's get him going. Engage Otto. And what do we need to do to call him up right here is the question. We got to find that real fast. JE dispatcher, channel 14, tone 5. So 1414, tone 5. Channel 14. Come on, flip over. There we go. DTMF. Zone 5. See if we get an answer back. We got the report. From time to day, Otto. There we go. Request the signal. All right, cleared. Proceed. He's so finicky. Like, sometimes he's like, I know you're here, go with it. And then other times it's like he doesn't know you exist unless you talk to him first. So, all right, we're good to go. Let's get out of here, guys. We've got, he's showing, that is not correct, though. Right? Yeah, it is. Never mind. Never mind. Spur's an idiot. Don't listen to me, okay? Don't listen to me. We are good. I keep thinking that going towards Waycross is the diverging route, but it's actually the straightaway. Diverging is towards the Nahuna. We're on the Nahuna sub, but going towards Folkestone that way. All right, now we're good. This is a good running little train, guys. Like, it really just is, even for just 2 units. All right, so seeing how we have a medium clear, we can't blast off too much. We have to rein it back in just a little bit through this turnout up here, right? Medium speed through it. We'll crank her up a little bit. We do have at least 1 meet. Our next stop for this train is going to be Baldwin, so we're going to run down the Nahuna to Callahan. We'll diverge off at Callahan and head towards Baldwin, and then Baldwin will be the end of the line for us. You know, in real life, it would make its way on down through Wildwood and that way, and eventually make its way to Tampa, and then finally Bradenton. But we don't have that available to us right now. Hopefully, one of these days we could have that, but we don't right now. When we did the live stream yesterday, I did forget. We should have like technically simulated a crew change in Savannah, because that is one of the spots where they did a crew change. So they ran Savannah to Baldwin back in the day, and I want to say the crew district north of Savannah would have been Florence, so they would have run Florence to Savannah, and then I want to say they had a crew change at Rocky Mount, and then maybe one at Potomac Yard, and then when it gets on up towards New Jersey and out with Philadelphia and New Jersey, like, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I think I've seen them listed before, but yeah, it's quite the amazing train. You know, we talked a good bit about it yesterday. One of the most, if not the most lucrative train on CSX, believe it or not. All right, let's count that off. There we go. Under those cool signal bridges back here. I didn't even think to point those out. Some of my favorites. Yeah, very lucrative train, even for Conrail. Back in the day before the merger, right? Like, Conrail was really happy with this train too. Both railroads were extremely happy with this train. It's really easy money for them. You know, it doesn't really require any switching. It doesn't require any kind of classification. Basically, all the railroads had to do was tack their engines onto it and provide a crew, and then just run it. You know, and so it was good. It was a good way to make money for the railroad. They liked it a lot. And this train has been around since like 1970. I did a little research on it. The first one was 1970, so that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. All right, we're going down to Nahuna from Jessup to Folkestone. This is a part of the route that you don't see a lot. You don't see people doing a lot of things on the Nahuna. The Nahuna's it's not like, you know, Folkestone is the rail fan hotspot. Folkestone gets everything. Nahuna to Jessup, really, they're like, back then there wasn't a whole lot. You had the juice train, of course. You had a handful of intermodals, the Philadelphia intermodals, the Northeast intermodals, you know, the 173, 74, 75, 76. I think that's what it was. You had the Jacksonville to Charleston stuff, so you had two more. Jacksonville to Savannah. I'm trying to think how those went down because they changed so much. I have to go back through my list and look and see. There may have been, I don't know if it was Jacksonville to Savannah back then, or if Savannah was taken care of with the Charleston train. But really, like, it was mainly just intermodal stuff in coal trains. Really, like, right, really, a lot of the coal trains that came out of like the Clinchfield, out of Irwin, Tennessee, and down you know, either via Columbia or Spartanburg, which eventually they both wound up in Savannah and then came down that way. So you saw like Crystal River trains coming down that way. Sometimes the Orlando, the Stanton trains came down that way. So it's mostly coal and intermodal, and that was it. There weren't any slot freights that went down this way back during that time period, the early 2000s, right? There had been. The R409 used to go to Tampa, and that was originally how they carried the southbound empties for the juice train, was on the R409. So, all right, we're also, we're a 60-mile-an-hour train. The game's got us limited to 50. I don't know why. We should absolutely be 60 though. Even with empties. I even like last night I went back and looked that up because I wasn't sure. Like, I thought it was a 60-mile-an-hour train both ways, like intermodal, right? There's no difference between an empty and a loaded intermodal. They're both 70s. Well, I thought it was kind of the same way with the Tropicana, unless I read wrong. But I went back and looked at the air brake and train handling rules for CSX, and it says TPIX empty cars 60 mile an hour. So that's what we're doing. We're doing 60 mile an hour on this train. We got the intermodal back there. I'm trying to think anything else we need to go over in this train. I think that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, the service has changed a lot over the years as far as the frequency, the size of the train, the symbol. You know, for a long time it was R250. Back during the Seaboard days, early CSX days, probably throughout a portion of the 90s, it was R250, and it was only the northbound train. I said they run it northbound. Oh, we're getting a little bit fast here. Let's get over to DD.
551.0, no defect. Total axle 180, end of transmission.
There we go. So yeah, it was R250 back in the day, and it ran, I think back then it ran 3 times a week, about 60 cars. That's back in the orange days, right, when they had the orange cars. 3 times a week, and the empties did not come back in a unit train. They came back on the R409. So they sent about, I want to say, back during that time, what I read was that Tropicana was wanting to get about 15 cars a day for inspection purpose, for like inspection and servicing purposes, before they got the train ready to go back out, right? The 60 cars. So they get about 15 cars a day, give or take, and that gave them a little leeway to get the cars ready for the northbound trip again. So yeah, they would go south on the R409. The R409 went straight to I want to say it went from Potomac Yard to Tampa. So yeah, it's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. After the Conrail merger, something convinced them that they needed to just do it, the backhaul in a unit train, right? So they did that, and then later on, early 2000s, they started putting in a little bit of intermodal. The intermodal kind of went back and forth a lot, right? It wasn't a constant thing. I don't know how they worked that out with the customer, to be honest. Like, that's kind of a... I can see that as being like a sticking point where the customer is paying for dedicated service, right? The Tropicana is paying for dedicated service there and back, and then the railroad starts putting other customers on the train, and it's like, well, I'm paying for this train to be dedicated. So I'm sure they probably worked something out, right, on the backhaul. More likely, I would think they would. I've heard of there being a little bit of a pissing contest with the railroad and customers about doing that, especially some of the automotive stuff back in the day. More the Q215. I want to say it's Q215 that they got in a little bit of a tiff about, because what CSX was doing was they were putting Hamburg Sud containers on the head end of that train. And I want to say the customer said something. They're like, you know, we're paying for this and you're putting other stuff, you know, on the head end. So I could kind of see that. It's all, you know, it's all part of the politics of railroading, right? And how this stuff works. All right, CSX K651 got a clear triple nickel. I-32 south out. Either way, the train's an absolute blast, guys. Y'all gonna love it. Northbound counterpart did not have intermodal placed on it, as far as I know. And I think that was a weight thing, right? I think that was a tonnage thing. So northbound didn't get the filler cuts. Southbound did. Yeah, almost. Yesterday's live stream was almost an auto train live stream. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I have never... Yesterday's live stream was the first time I ever touched the juice train in Run 8, believe it or not. First time ever. I've never run that train. Never done anything with it. And I was like, you know what? We're going to do a juice train. That'd be a good one. The juice train, absolutely. You can't go wrong with juice. There's all kind of people in the live stream yesterday. If y'all missed it, there's wanting fresh squeezed orange juice. So we've done started something. All right, looking good. Got stuck brake back there, believe it or not. We sure do. We should have known that. I just saw it because we had to flip through it, right? So we kind of cheated, but we should have known that. But yeah, there's a stuck brake back there. There sure is. And we haven't even touched the brakes. I haven't touched the brakes one time, so that's stuck from us leaving out back there at Jessup. That's weird. You load the game in, and the brakes are always, like, the brakes are kind of set a little bit, but they just seem kind of wonky for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, we got a stuck brake, though. Question is, do we ignore it like we don't know it's there, or do we fix it? That is the thing. Do we fix it? We got another clear. You know, we talked about stuck brakes plenty of times before. I think we'll fix it. We'll go through and fix it. Hang on. Let's go through Broadhurst here. CSX K651 got it clear in North Broadhurst. 9032 south out. Good horn, too. Someone suggested we use this horn yesterday. If you guys aren't catching the live streams, y'all need to jump in. We have an absolute blast. I am so freaking happy with the live streams, and like, we have such a good time in there. It is such a good group of people. I can't brag on them enough. Like, they're a really, really fun group of guys to hang out with, and I really appreciate everyone that does watch. All the members, everyone that's you know, done the memberships to the channel. You know, subs, donations, all that stuff. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. So like I said, then I know my live streams aren't conducive to a lot of people because it's during the day, right? But like I said, if you can hop in sometimes, like, do it. Don't hesitate. You're always welcome. All right, let's get these stuck brakes fixed because we're going to act like someone told us, right? MOW called us on the radio, said you got stuck brakes back there on the bottom of your train. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab some air. You know what? We're going to keep it old school. We're going to keep it old school. We're going to say number 8. Now they say, you know, you can't power brake over number 4, you know, notch 4. We're going to pretend like this is before that ever became a thing, right? It used to not always be a thing. They used to not care. So we're just going to go with it. Number 8, we're dragging the hell out of these cars, and we're going to draw this air down really good and knock it off and see if that'll fix it. There we go. Just keep going. Yeah, it's going to slow us up a good bit. That's okay. Hopefully we'll get it to knock off. This XK651's got a clear south end of Broadhurst. 9032 south out. All right, let's go 2 more for good measure. Actually, we went 3 more. It's not going to hurt. You know what? I've heard people going as deep as 15 before to knock them off, so we'll see. You see that one car, it's not really setting up quite right. It may be a bad triple valve, guys. Like, we may be up the creek with that. We'll see. All right, let's knock them back off. That's it's kind of, there we go, 77. All right, let's knock it off. Let's see what this does. So yeah, depending on how you want to run, you know, your running depends on the time period. Way back in the day, there was none of this braking over notch 4 stuff. Like, you could do it in any notch. They didn't care. It wasn't really specified. I've heard old heads talk plenty of times, or it may have said in the rule book, but no one really applied that. You know, it could be one of those deals. But I've heard plenty of old heads talking about keeping the train in notch 8 going to Jacksonville or down south into Florida like that, and just knocking the brakes on and off like crazy. You know, there we go. All right, we freed up our stuck brakes, so we're good to go. 12 did it. We might could have got away with 10, but I wanted to make double sure that we did get it, so 12 got it for us. All right, let's keep on and keeping, guys. And we really didn't slow down that much because we did keep her in number 8, so. by Finland Street. Good news, too. Good news on the multiplayer front. I almost forgot this, and this was one thing that I was really stoked about today. So, I got on Discord last night, and I put up a server, and I got a couple of guys to try to test out the connection, and it actually worked. I'll be honest, I was not expecting it to work. I thought I was going to have to call my ISP and get my router straightened out for forwarding, but it worked. It worked fine. We didn't really do anything other than just kind of test the connection out, mess around a little bit, make sure everything worked out okay, but we had an absolute blast for about 20 or 30 minutes. So appreciate you guys for helping me out with that. So like I said, the good thing is we can host some multiplayer now. We can do some multiplayer action. One of the first thing I want to do on the AGS and Waycross is start sorting out some yard work to try to get the routes kind of working and built and kind of populated. Basically like seeding the route, you know, as far as how we want to do things. So keep an eye out for that. And we'll see about doing some multiplayers. I'll be able to host it now. TSX K651 got clear. McKinnon 932 south out. Private road crossing there. Yeah, I was really happy with that. Really extremely pleased with that. You guys have no idea. I really was not expecting it to work, to be honest. I was not expecting it to work. Like I said, I don't have access to my router, so ultimately I need to figure that out at some point, because I'm guessing the ISP did not factory reset the router when they issued it to us, and so none of the factory passwords work. I can't get into it, so but either way it works now. So I mean, I guess why mess with it when it's working? But looking forward to some multiplayers. Looking forward to some yard work. Like having a hump job going, trim job. I know some of you guys, someone said they really want to do some hostling. Absolutely, hostler is a really important job, I think, in Run 8. Hostling's not easy. It's quite the involved process, like taking engines from one part of the yard to the other, right? It's usually a little involved. So I think it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm stoked. I think it'd be cool to have like multiple trim jobs working, right? 2 or 3 trim jobs. I'm not quite sure. You probably have 2 on AGS, probably maybe 3 on Waycross. Maximum of 3. I think 2 would work really good, but 3 might be okay. So we'll probably start out focusing on the yards. It's definitely on the Waycross side of things with the Fitz and the A-line and Savannah and Baldwin and all that. We'll probably really focus on Waycross to try to get things kind of populated, and then start working on locals too. Locals are going to be really important as well. DSX K651 got clear north end of 410s, 93rd south out. And then we can kind of get the railroad moving. And once we get things working, I think it'll be okay. I got to work on tags. We're going to change up tags on the Waycross yard, Rice yard. All right, by Hortense. I do not see that signal. Interesting. That knot's like right in the way. But yeah, we're going to change up the tags. I got someone sent me a while back a PDF. It is a scan of a seaboard system, kind of like freight train routing and blocking from back in the day. So basically, it has every train that they had, and it tells how they were blocked. Like if it had an Atlanta cut on the head end and then a Cincinnati cut, and then it has all the destination symbols too. So that's really good. That's good for us. We'll be able to have some good destination symbols, and I'm going to base it a little bit off of the seaboard stuff because that's all we have. That's all we have right now, unless we get something better. So some of it will work, some of it won't work. We'll just make it do what we can. TSX K651's got a clear south end of, where we at, Broadhurst? Is this Broadhurst? Is this Broadhurst? I don't know. I think it is. I done forgot. Let's see. I called a little too early because it was trying to be slick. I was going to call it. I think it's Broadhurst. This is a part of the route. Oh, Hortense. Never mind. Hortense. TSX K651 got clear south end of Hortense. 932 south out. This is a part of the route that, like, I hardly ever go up and down. It's not a lot. It's really just not. It's not a whole lot. I saw another whistle post back there. I guess maybe that was a duplicate. Good section of route to run, especially if you're a beginner. It's almost like a water level route in a way, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, very gradual changes. It's not anything very extreme at all. Not like the Fitz or the AGS. All right, these are all bridges. Lots and lots of bridges. We run her a little fast to be okay. I'll take 3. I won't sweat 3 over. Even though it's saying 13 over. It's wrong. And that's the thing, like, you can go into the train tagger and you can adjust, like, you can set your maximum authorized speed for your train, but in fact, you know what, we'll look at that real fast. I'll show you guys. So if you go in and you grab your train and you go down here to the tagger, up here at the top, you can hit override speed limit, yes, and then you can set it, right? We can bring it down, but unfortunately we can't take it up, which doesn't make any, like, we should just be able to set it to whatever, right? It's just whatever. If you need to bump it up, then bump it up. Bump it down, bump it down. You know, just whatever you need. But we can't take it up for some reason. I don't know why the game is saying this is a 50-mile-an-hour train, because it's not. I think it's probably saying it's 50 because it has empty reefers in the back, but those reefers were they were good for 60 empty. TSX K651's got clear Satilla 932 south out. So yeah, empty reefer. These reefers, good for 60. We could absolutely do 60. So I think it's just looking at it as empty, just like regular old empty reefers, and just saying, hey, it needs to be a 50-mile-an-hour train because it's empties. Good thing we're not running PTC. We don't have to sweat anything. We don't have to sweat nothing. All right, I guess this is the Satilla. You cross the Satilla on the Fitz outside of Waycross. Over there between Bowling and Herbertville. Straight as an arrow. I bet, man, during the 30s, 40s, and 50s, I bet this was a high-speed racetrack because it was double main. You know, they took a lot of it out. I don't know at what point they single-mained it, but they took a lot out and relocated that main somewhere else. But, man, with all those passenger trains going into Florida big vacation area, you know, always still was really back then. People going to St. Augustine, St. Petersburg, and all these places, Miami. Man, I couldn't imagine back in the day. Yeah, I don't really think the grade is varied much other than by like 0.1%. Maybe 0.2 at the most. All right, CSX K651 got clear. Raven 9032 south out. All right, we do have our meet coming up. You're gonna put us in the hole. Be all right. This should be just a quick in and out procedure, right? Like my cousin Vinny. It's like, what's wrong with you? It's just gonna be a quick in and out procedure, and dude's all freaking out. If you haven't seen that movie, you need to watch it. I know a lot of you probably know what I'm talking about. The kid in jail's like freaking out because he thought he was a prisoner. He was in a jail cell talking about in and out procedures. So yeah, he didn't know he was his lawyer. He didn't know it was his lawyer. He's in there talking about it. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Like, that movie probably makes me laugh more than any other. You can see it undulates a little bit down through here. Oh, come on, really? Oh, I was just bragging the other day, a few days ago, that I hadn't been popped by a DD in a while. And we got hit with dragging equipment. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Really? We got approach medium too. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Man. Alright, let's keep... Bring her down to a nice control stop. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Don't shoot the brakes. Yeah, definitely don't shoot the brakes. I really wanted to stop before this distance, so we just leave off on that signal. We're not going to be able to. It'll be alright. SXK 651 got approach medium distant to Nahuna. 9032 south out. Yeah, we'll get a little bit more. Since we've had issues with stuck brakes, we'll draw them down kind of tight. Make sure we keep it stretched out pretty good here. All right, so we have dragging equipment somewhere. I don't even know where. I didn't even hear the axle. I'll be honest. I was too busy bitching about it, and I didn't catch the axle, so that's bad on me. Bad on me. It's somewhere back there. We'll find it. I think there's actually a way you can get it to pop back up. I don't know, but not that big of a deal. There we go. Sweet. All right, let's draw them down the rest of the way. A little bit, at least. All right, let's go look for our defect. Let's do yeah, we'll just do this. It should show us. There it is right there. That's our problem child, right? There we go. She's fixed. I think that was it, right? It only called one. That sucks. That figures. As soon as I opened my mouth the other day about... Someone was talking about getting popped by the DD in a live stream. I was like, oh, I haven't got popped by a DD in forever. And then, yeah, here we go. And you see where it gets you, right? Okay, we got him draw down nice and tight. Let's go ahead and knock him off. We're gonna start pulling them. They haven't knocked off completely yet, but they're about to. There you go, bottom's moving. We good, we good. Crisis averted. Looks like we've got a medium approach medium down there. But just a minor inconvenience, just enough to torque you, right? Like, doggone it, we roll in 60, everything's going good, and then we get popped by the DD. Gotta stop. It's par for the course. Trying to think, how much further down here are we gonna go? We got Nahuna, and then we got Winnaker after that, and then Birch, and then Folkestone. So probably take it down to Winnaker. I think Winnaker might be the place to kind of wrap the video up. Yeah, it looks like a medium approach medium. This should be. We're doing it in and out. All right, how far out are we? 1.6. We could get her up a little bit faster. Not good enough. Man, I really dig that horn. Someone was telling me during yesterday's live stream, and it's something I never knew, that they can change, I guess, basically change the pitch of the horn with the air pressure, and that like a GE with this horn sounds a little different than an EMD. I had no clue. Like I've said 1,000 times, I'm not an air horn guy. I don't know anything about it, but I thought that was kind of interesting. This is a K5 LA. They were saying I absolutely need to have a K5 LA on this train, so. All right, let's. You know what? Since we got that car back there that's giving us problems with stuck brakes, I want to do something real fast just to see. We're just going to get a minimum. We're not going to full 10. You know, we've read. So if you want to negate the chance of having stuck brakes, do 10 pounds, right? Don't let go of your air until you get 10 pounds. But All right, CSX K651's got me approaching medium north end of Huna. 9032 south out. Let's see. Let's take a peek. Let's just see. There you go. Yeah. There you go. That car has definitely got issues with it. And we didn't do the full 10. We didn't do the full 10, so there you go. We got a car with stuck. Like, that car is obviously prone to having stuck brakes. We know we got a car in our train that is prone to having stuck brakes. And we did a minimum. We didn't get the full 10, right? They say go 10 deep before you let go of the air to negate the chances of having, or to lessen the chances of having stuck brakes. We didn't do that. We just went to 84, let go of it, and there you go. We got a car with stuck brakes. So we'll have to fix that in a second here. We'll have to, man, I'm not as keen like staying in number 8 at 30 mile an hour as I am at 60. And that's just like, to me, that's one of those like feel things, you know. I'm not as keen on that. We can drag on them, but let's go ahead and draw them down. We'll do 4. We'll see what she does. Maybe 5. Okay, so since we got a car with really prone stuck brakes, let's see what 10 does for us. So last time we freed them up, we did 12. Yeah, last time was 12. This time we're going to see if 10 does it. Just make sure they set up really good. They complete. All right, let's go ahead and knock them off. Come back out of that. Do right shift F11 so we can watch this guy by. All right, Coltrane, Nahuna looks good. Marcus hanging. Let's see, it looks like she's more stuck, right? Unless she knocks off late. Ken didn't do it. Like I said, you wouldn't have the luxury of knowing this. You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't have it visualized to you. Oh, what's going on? So you go by someone, they say, hey, you got stuck brakes back there. You know, you need to draw them down tight. Draw them down. Okay, now it's releasing. Okay, so it's just really delayed. It did release, but now that we know, and I will say this. If you have someone tell you, hey, you got a car with stuck brakes, treat it like you've got a stuck brake problem the rest of the duration, right? So we did 10 just to see what would happen because we knew we got a car with stuck brakes in it. But honestly, at this point, like, I know I've got a car back there that's causing me problems. It's not acting right. So I would probably do a minimum of 12. Really. 12, I think 12 pounds would be pretty safe, if not a little deeper than that. But 12 pounds seemed to work for it. Well, 10 to 15, something like that. Oh man, she's wanting to go now because I guess we're rolling downhill. Yeah, it's it's a little bit of a hill right here. All right, so once again, it's one of those deals, we got to get some air. Really just don't want to use the dynamics. I just like, Railroading on this line, I'm not a dynamic guy. Like, there's certain circumstances I like to use it, but... Alright, let's hit our counter. The good thing is she's a light train, she's a short train. We can pull on her pretty good and not hurt the speed too much. All right, so we drew down 12. We're going to peek again in a minute here and see what it does. Like I say, we're being really cheaty about it today, but this is like one of the few times that we can actually kind of go over this together, right? When I tried to make it happen last time, I couldn't get it to happen for nothing. Like, it just would not stick. But today, we've absolutely got a train that's prone to sticking. Yeah, I read, like, with sticking brakes, sometimes they say draw them down and wait 20 seconds. Yeah, draw them down and wait 20 seconds, so... All right, let's see what they're doing. Everything looks good. Let's knock them off. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there's definitely a problem child back there for sure. So seeing how it's trended before, it should knock off. It's just going to be delayed. Like I say, we would not have the luxury of knowing this. So if someone told you had stuck brakes and you draw them down and you knock them back off, unless there's someone further down to tell you, hey, you know, you look okay. You don't know. Yeah, okay, now she's knocking off. So it's just a slow. It's a slow triple valve. And it takes definitely a minimum of 10, 12 to be safe. So that gives you kind of an idea if you got a car that's causing you problems. And sometimes they won't knock off. Like, sometimes they're just stuck. Like, they're not going to do anything. It's like every time you draw the air down, it just goes deeper and deeper, right? Like, it won't knock off. And at that point, you just got to cut it out. Yeah, at that point, all you can do is just cut it out, right? Like, there's really nothing else. Like, I've had that before. Like, you got a car, I had a car with stuck brakes, draw it down 10, knock it off. It just goes deeper reduction on the car, right? Like, it's got more air under it. Draw it down 12, knock it off, it's got even more air under it. You know, draw it down 15, knock it off, got even more air under it. And then at that point, it's like, screw it, just stop and bleed it. Just bleed the car off and don't have to worry about it no more. Either way, we're good. So, M171's on his way. He's going to go up to Columbia. He's going to hang that left in Savannah, go up to Columbia sub, and we are heading for... Where's it at? Winnaker. Here we go, right here. This is us. Right here. Winnaker, the Folkestone, and then you pick up with Blown, Hilliard, Callahan. Then Callahan, we got to veer off. That'll be the next video. We'll probably go up here to Winnaker and call it. I think, like I said, I think that'd be a good place. This K651 got clear Hickox. I-32 south out. Well, other than that, DD, he's still a really good train. I'll be honest, this is a super fun trip between Savannah and Jacksonville down this way. I dig this route a lot. It's very chill. All right, there we go. Kill the bell. There you see some of that undulating grade there. Up and down, up and down. So now we're going to be getting into the A-line portion of the route. I can't remember exactly where it merged. Somewhere up here. All right, got to clear back lot. 932 south out. I like how it's just straight as an arrow. A little bit of a knot here. He's got us lined on down. The main thing I'm worried about is down here at Callahan. Auto may not. I may have to check that. Probably before the next video, I'll check that out. I'll make sure Auto has us lined up right, or knows where to send that symbol. He should, like, I don't see this symbol not being in there. It might not be, but I think I'm pretty certain it is. You looking? That's Winnaker. Okay. Oh, such a good train, guys. Like, man, she's not draggy at all. She really just is, man. She stops good. She's got good power. The HPT on this thing is 4.8. Pretty decent. It's probably one of the higher HPT trains you can run on CSX for sure. Like, their pigs aren't even this high. Like, by no means. Just a good train. Absolutely great train. K651 got clear north Winnaker. 932 south out. Or we could say, if we wait a little bit and peaked it, we could say K651 got clear both ends of Winnaker. 932 south out. Absolutely do that. All right, guys. that's going to do it for this one. We'll pick up with another video sometime, and we'll take this thing through Folkestone and maybe take it to Baldwin. I'm not sure. It may take us a little trip to get down there. But either way, love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Peace. No, big cat, no. Oh, no. No, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over us. Okay. It's the weirdest day ever. Oh, no. He just fell. He just